Someone says something. Maybe it's just a tone, a glance, a quick remark. But inside, something lights up. Your chest tightens. Your jaw locks. Your mind starts racing. You tell yourself to stay cool, but it's too late. Before you know it, you've snapped back or gone silent, or ended up replaying the moment in your head for hours. Why does this happen? Why can't you just let it roll off? Why does someone else's vibe hijack your mood? Why do their words sink into you, even when you know they shouldn't? Carl Jung had a hard truth. Everything that irritates us in others is a window into ourselves. But here's the thing. Most people don't want self-understanding. They want control. They want peace. They want to be untouched by judgment, rejection, or criticism. So they chase surface-level, deep breaths, meditation, faking calm, blocking people, pretending not to care. But it never sticks. Because the real trigger isn't the other person. It's something inside you. If you've ever wondered, why do I get so mad? Or, why does this person ruin my whole mood? Stick around. This isn't about shutting off your emotions. It's about freeing yourself from them. If you've ever craved a kind of peace so steady no one else's chaos can shake it, this journey is for you. Because the truth is, it's not about them. It's about you. Jung believed that everyone we meet reflects something hidden inside us. Anger, for example, is a reaction to exposure. Someone hits a nerve, not because they're powerful, but because they hit something you've been trying not to face, your shadow. You don't get mad when someone insults a part of you you've accepted. You get mad when they poke a part you're still fragile about. The part you haven't claimed, the part you've neglected. Maybe they made you feel small. Not because you are, but because part of you still believes you are. Maybe they ignored you, and it stirred up an old wound of invisibility, maybe from way back in childhood. That's not their fault. That's your signal. Anger isn't the problem. It's a message. It's not about stuffing it down. It's about figuring it out. What part of me just woke up? Why did I want their attention? Why did I feel the need to defend myself? Because when you dig under the reaction, you'll usually find a story. And most of the time, it's not even about what's happening right now. Jung believed we're all haunted by old emotional patterns. And every time you're triggered, you're not reacting to this moment. You're reacting to the past. To the parent who didn't listen. To the friend who betrayed you. To the moment you learned it was safer to stay quiet than to tell the truth. So now you defend, shut down, or push people away, trying to protect the part of you that never felt safe. Here's the painful truth. Most people don't want real peace. They want to control everything around them so they never have to feel the mess inside. But control isn't peace. Control is anxiety dressed up. Jung knew that real peace comes not from avoiding hard people, but from facing the part of yourself that reacts to them. When you realize anger doesn't own you, it turns into something else. It becomes information. It becomes an invitation. So next time someone triggers you, ask, what inside me just woke up? When have I felt this before? What story am I spinning right now? Because the truth is, no one can make you angry. They can only show you where your healing still lives. You think it's their tone, their bad timing, the way they make everything a contest. But Jung would stop you right there. The meeting of two people is like mixing two chemicals. If there's a reaction, both are transformed. You're not just annoyed. You're being mirrored. The reason certain people drive you nuts isn't because they're awful. It's because they reflect something inside you that you haven't fully accepted. Maybe you hate arrogance because you were punished for being confident. Maybe you're annoyed by people who dominate conversations because you were never allowed to speak. Maybe emotionally distant people make you uneasy because you're scared of your own emotional dependence. Here's the brutal truth. You're not reacting to them. You're reacting to the part of you you see in them, the part you've denied, This is what Jung meant by the shadow. It's the side of you were told was too much, too loud, too sensitive, too needy. So you shove it away and build a mask to be the opposite, quiet, rational, accommodating. But the shadow doesn't die. It just hides. And when you meet someone who lives out the part you've buried, the anger flares up. Let's say you value being emotionally balanced. You've worked hard to be calm, mature, and measured. Then someone barges in, loud, entitled, messy. Boom. Nostalgie. But here's the twist. It's not really them you're mad at. It's what they stir up in you. Maybe the memory of a time you were out of control, or punished for having big feelings, or shamed for taking up space. Anger is old memory you haven't processed. And the people who trigger you the most are like walking flashbacks. You think you're mad at them, but really, you're mad at the younger you who never got to exist. Jung didn't say we should avoid these people. He said we should study our reactions to them, because that's where the real work happens. When you stop blaming and start observing, you see the truth. You feel powerless around certain people because you gave them the power to validate the parts of you that aren't healed. You feel rejected, not because they said no, but because you built your sense of self around being accepted. You get defensive because deep down, you still believe your worth is on trial. So how do you master this? You stop reacting and start reflecting. You ask, what's this teaching me about myself? Where have I felt this before? Am I mad because they're wrong, or because they touched a raw spot? Emotional mastery isn't about becoming unshakable. It's about being transparent with yourself. Jung believed the shadow wasn't meant to be destroyed, but integrated. Integration looks like this. Someone triggers you, and you get curious. Someone disrespects you, and you set a boundary without hating them. Someone leaves, and you let them go without making it a statement about your worth. That's real power. Not the power to control others. The power to stay centered, no matter what they do. Picture this. You're in a room with someone who used to trigger you. Same attitude, same chaos. But this time, you don't flinch. You don't shrink. You don't defend. You see them clearly, but more importantly, you see yourself clearly. And the fire that used to consume you, gone. Not because you're numb, but because you've made peace with the parts of yourself they used to light up. That's individuation, the lifelong process of becoming whole. You can't be whole if you're still at war with your own reflection. But the second you stop blaming the mirror, you start healing the image. And your anger turns into wisdom.